Hey guys, this is Street Level Spirituality. This is Hangin with Aries. These videos are kind of more of a longer format, kind of casual style video. Usually when I watch tarot or astrological videos or things like that, I like to put on videos that are long without interruptions. So I like to listen to them like when I'm laying down to go to bed at night or something like that. A lot of videos out there are kind of 15, 20 minutes or something like that. And there's a few that are like an hour and 10 minutes. And anyway, I tend to like the longer formats. I'm not sure how long these are going to go. But anyway, so this is just kind of a long form casual hangout. If you want to chill and just kind of do some tarot together. What we're going to do to start is just look at a kind of a seasonal kind of winter, coming into winter, end of the year kind of cycle here. Before I get started, I pulled a card just to get the nature of the reading and just kind of set a tone for you guys as Aries in general and what you're going through. And it looked like the theme was kind of like this reflective period in your purpose in the world. So not quite ready to move and go out there and, with certainty about what you're doing, but kind of this emotional time period of reflectance and kind of, trying to discover what's going on with you, maybe what your next steps are, and kind of where you're headed from here. A little bit of background is I've done tarot for a while and studied astrology for a long time. I'm not like a super pro at any of them, but I have a deep passion for the human condition, and so a lot of my studies are along those lines, and tarot and astrology just kind of support that. And I had, a couple different significant people in my life, actually two really powerful psychics in the last couple of years tell me that I should get into my tarot readings. So I'm doing this kind of reluctantly, or it's not the easiest thing for me. I have a Pisces full moon, and if anybody knows astrology out there, a Pisces moon is, you kind of almost have to protect yourself, and it's extremely highly empathetic. So I guess what you might call me a highly sensitive person. So I'm not very good at, kind of selling myself and all that stuff. I'm not really here to do that. I'm just at a crossroads in my own life of trying to dig up more purpose. And this is just something that's keeps, coming back to me. So anyway, starting with you, Aries, hanging with Aries. How are you guys doing? My dad's an Aries. He's traveling right now. He's got Pluto going through his first house, which is a lot of transformation personally inside him. I have a Cancer opposite of that, yeah. So Cancer ascendant. So I have Pluto hanging out in my seventh house of relationships for a number of years, and it's really transformed how I relate to other people, and maybe this is a part of it. So a lot of times with Aries with astrology, astrologers or tarot readers, they'll be like, oh, this is a reading for Aries, and your planets are here and your planets are here. And it's not necessarily the case, because if you have a sun sign in Aries, you really don't know what what planets are in which houses that affect which aspects of your life, unless you know your ascendant or your rising sign. So if your rising sign's Aries, then that would be appropriate. But it's really important to understand what your ascendant or rising sign is, and it helps you establish where the planets are influencing different aspects of your chart. So it's good to be aware of. So I think if you had an Aries ascendant right now, I think there was some major, I think you have a square between Pluto and Capricorn, and then, something's going on in your 10th house of public career and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to make those general statements, because most of the people that are going to watch this video, it's not going to apply to you. So we're just not even going to go there. But, Aries in general, I'm getting this, usually have this fire burning And I think it's I'm getting this feeling like it's almost kind of a little bit dormant right now while there's this kind of reflective period. Um, so kind of looking at your next new place in the world, and any transition, any void will always be filled. So whatever you're going through, just be patient with it. And these messages are for the people who come watch these videos, and they're going to apply in different ways and different dimensions to different people. So this is for people who have ears to hear, not to be taken verbatim literally, but you have to open up your own inner listening and see what's applying and functioning for you at what times and in what relationships. And there may be benefit for you, there may be not. So just tune in if you want, and just kind of float with me here. So we had the general tone. And I've been shuffling for a little bit here. I don't give readings like a lot of other people do. For me, it's very multidimensional. And I just kind of use it as kind of what it's intended to be, which is a tool to intuit energy. Whereas a lot of people, they'll pull a card and they'll be like, oh, it's this card, and this card means that, blah, 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 blah. Well, much like astrology, you don't really identify single aspects because it's not really honoring the relationship between all the different aspects in your chart. And I believe the same things with tarot is that you have to pull your cards and kind of look at it and tune into it. What the story is. It's kind of showing you all these different chapters at once. And instead of just going through each chapter, it's important to look at the whole of all the chapters, look at the themes and then how they relate. And I think you get a bigger story out of it. So anyway, I'm just a little different like that. I'm a little tired today because I was running around a whole bunch. So it's almost 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, oh, let's drink some coffee I had in the fridge. Someone's going to be up playing Overwatch all night. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. Thanks for hanging out with me. I went through some big changes in my life the last 5 years, and went from really large friend circles and all this stuff to, having to start honoring my empathetic self or my sensitive self. And I had so much going on around me I didn't relate to or really connect with, and I kind of pretended I did. And I had to get to a point where I had to just kind of let go and surrender. And I've just kind of really been spending a lot of time by myself. And it's been a really good time. But in the last, 3 months or so since the solar eclipse in August, that cycle's definitely over. The hermit's I need to get the hell out of here. So maybe this is part of that too. Connecting with people on a different level. And this is kind of difficult for me too, because I do a lot of video production professionally, and I try to force myself to create a setup that was more casual and easy to do so I can do more videos. I don't have to master the audio, record the audio separate, color correct it, use this camera, blah, 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 mix it all together, all that crap. Anyway, but I did pull this light out because it helps. Okay, well, I got a card popping out here, so let's use this as the focus. Okay. So we already know the theme. This is the theme. The theme is kind of your place in the world. What is your next step? Where are you going? And I get the feeling also that because of this card that just came out, it's not you're kind of done with that isolated journey yourself. And it's funny that I'd be saying that because of the card I just got. So I got the Six of Swords in reverse, and it's kind of like you're coming out of the journey. The journey's over. You're the patience of crossing the river, the mental patience of being isolated and having to cross over the emotions is over. So um, gotta move my mouse here. It's dimming out on me. I gotta change that. So, between the initial setup and then this here, what I'm getting is that you're kind of looking at what your next steps are in the world, but you're kind of also maybe finishing up that process of reflecting on it. So it's kind of this like really exciting moment of transition. So I think that probably because of the eclipses in August, you had your abrupt shift. The energies had to kind of settle in. The olds moved out. The newer news coming in. It's kind of showing you what's being set up. So I think that you're ready for this winter cycle in the next so many months, and kind of maybe aware, if you're listening, of what needs to be done. But you're kind of at this fresh new stage, fresh new step. Okay. Wow. So let's just get these cards out so I can get the whole story here and start intuiting it a little bit. Wow. What's going on with Aries? Anyway, I was talking about myself a lot, but I want to hear about you guys and how you're doing. It's just kind of a new journey for me. I wanted to share a little bit about what I was going through. And maybe you're like me. Maybe you're laying in bed, chilling out at the end of the day, and I'm just sending you a lot of support and healing. Often at the end of the day, it's when we're reflecting on what we went through, where we could make improvements, where we did good. Maybe we're missing someone. Maybe we're recognizing something about ourselves that we could work on, or just getting in touch with our feelings. Or maybe we're just wanting to go to sleep. And if in that case, if you're using this video to go to sleep, I ask you or invite you to take your focus off what I'm saying, let it be in the background, and just focus on your breathing. Do some stomach breathing. That always helps me. I learned that stuff when I was going through my lessons in regards to obsession, which were not very fun. All right, so let's see what we got here. I haven't really put together all the cards yet, but from what I'm seeing here, I'm digging it. I'm just gonna take my time. I'm slow. It's just hanging with Aries. I hope you don't mind. Outcome looks really good. Okay, so I'm just gonna hang out here and look at the cards a little bit. Okay, so there's the motivation. There's a theme around feeling motivated for some sort of sense of identity or structure around family, some kind of family focus. And this journey or this new journey you're about to embark on, I think that maybe potentially you've maybe arrived to a place where you're recognizing the value of family, or something along the lines of that, the theme of family, or is the symbolic theme of family, whether it's a group of friendships, but it's the idea of creating a foundation for yourself, whether it's kind of what symbolizes family and foundation within yourself, getting structured in your own life, or actually starting a family, or reconnecting with a family, or creating your own sense of family if you're from a broken family. But that feeling that we get when we're nurtured by a group of people, we come home to a clean home, we can take a bath, we can light some candles, we can do whatever we need, and we feel safe. A place to feel safe. So that might be what it is for some people, a place to feel safe. And that's what's motivating this new direction. So I think that initially what I'm getting out of this is that whatever process you're going through in kind of establishing yourself in the world, and kind of what this new direction is for you, just keep that in mind, in the back of your mind. What would it take for me to feel more safe? What would it take for me to create more foundation in my life? What would it take for me to develop long-term relationships? What communication skills would I need? What level of commitment? What things would I need to let go of? And really getting the sense that, depending on your own journey, some people are on the spiritual path at different levels. For some people, they go from what I consider one of the most major transitions is the transformation from seeking outward to seeking inward. And it's all good in theory, but when it actually happens to you, it can be pretty unsettling, because a lot of things that we invest in outside of ourselves, obviously those are all transient and temporary. So, when you make that transformation and instead you start focusing inside yourself, not that we can't have those things outside of ourselves, but we can see them for what they are. But that inner work, that inner foundation, creating that for ourselves, we can always fall back on that no matter what's happening outside of us. So say we have a relationship and somebody breaks up with us, we're fine because we have a home, we have good fresh food to eat in the morning, we have brown rice or beans or some good greens to eat at night, and we feel strong and we wake up feeling strong. We have a bath to soothe ourselves in. We might put music on, have candles and incense or whatever it is to create our own sense of bliss and foundation. So potentially maybe some of you Aries are going through that also, recognizing that the promises of the world can be somewhat empty in the sense of being a primary source of fulfillment. They're definitely an important aspect of our fulfillment, but everything needs to be in its proper place. Going out and party with our friends all the time is not going to ever give us that solid foundation that we need in our lives to really be able to function from a place that feels safe and comfortable. And no matter what happens, no matter how bad things go wrong out there, we come home and we have that foundation. And I think that's really what's motivating this. And, so I would just say, keep that in mind as you're moving forward into your next directions. When you're choosing a new job, when you're choosing this or a partner or whatever it might be, I think just ask yourself, is this creating that sense of family or foundation, or that feeling of foundation for safety, comfort, and stability in my life? And if it's not, then move aside and keep moving forward, because it's not going to be good for you right now. At least that's what it looks like to me. Again, I can babble on forever. That's just, we're just going through the first couple cards. So that's the nature of it. Now, spiritually, or from the divine, or from the superconscious realms, we have the Hermit looking down over this. So there's, I would see that as a sense of divine wisdom. And wisdom is the application of knowledge, and knowledge is the organization of information. So there is some sort of wisdom, applying wisdom, coming down this energy, and then subconsciously on the foundation or the primal motivation, you have the Four of Pentacles, which is creating that really strong financial foundation, which really reinforces what we were talking about earlier with the Four of Wands. So it's, you have the different aspects of yourself. You have this kind of primal desire to create a financial foundation so you can relax in the material world, right? And then you have this deep need to be reflective within your own divinity, in your higher mind, in your higher consciousness, and to be wise about your view on things. So I think what I'm getting to support, what we saw before, is I'm getting the word discernment. So this is discernment. I think, it's getting really clear right now. So basically you'll have all these, kind of like the Iliad, the Odyssey, or whatever it is. You'll have people come along your path in the next so many months, 2 or 3 months. Along that path, you're going to have choices to make. And it's going to be really easy to make those decisions because all you need to do is just ask yourself, is this investing into my inner foundation, my stability, my sense of family, my sense of safety and security? And then you'll be able to navigate through this really easy. So that's cool. So in the past, we have the reverse sun. And in the context of all this, and then in the future, we have the reverse Ace of Pentacles. So that's really interesting because it's like things aren't, you're coming out of a place where you wanted that beauty, that radiance and abundance, but I think that maybe we were making choices maybe from the wrong place. And so it never really came to be. And maybe you've learned some lessons in that. Take note of the things you've been through in the recent past that haven't worked. Really be conscious of that in your decision-making process as you move forward over the next few months. Let me look at your environment. You're concerned that you won't have a sense of fulfillment coming to you. And that fear is limiting your view. And it looks like in your environment, you have everything you need to be able to fulfill whatever creative endeavor that you would like to set out before yourself, like on a level that's masterful, including the people around you to help support that. So opening the eyes, opening the mind, getting out of this fear that there won't be a celebration, that there won't be something to celebrate, that there won't be some sort of rejoice. Let me just tune into these cards a little bit. The camera turned off for some reason. Maybe it just does that every 25 minutes, something like that. Anyway, what I was saying was, your attitude about this, or what's really going on within your true view, your true self on this, is a very wise, compassionate, feminine, intuitive energy. And what I'm feeling is that you just need to stay in that realm. You need to stay out of the fear of things not working out the way you want, that you're not going to be able to have those things to really celebrate about, and stay really into your intuitive self. Now, what you have at the completion of your reading is the King of Wands, which is, it's the ultimate expression of building and structure in the world, and really creating foundations for things in your life. So you have everything you need to, create those foundations that was brought up at the beginning of the reading. So that's great. I mean, you have a desire to create the Four of Wands, and then you finish off with the King of Wands, saying, I'm the master of the wands. I'm the master of creation and structure, and founding myself within the material world. So that's great. Again, you've kind of been going through this journey. You're now ready to starting to move forward. Make sure that in the next so many months that anytime that you have a choice to make, just simply ask, does it support a foundation in my life? Building a foundation, whether it's, family or home, structure, diet, whatever it is, creating a foundation that you can always come home to and rely on for your safety and well-being. And I think that's really the core of what the reading is here. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Maybe the video wasn't as long as I thought it would be, but I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. I'm doing this just kind of for the end of the year right now, but I'll probably end up doing some more videos. I just wanted to start not stressing out about everything. And also, outside of tarot, I'm going to be doing some other videos on different topics and stuff like that too. So keep your eyes open for that. And please subscribe. I see people saying that all the time. I don't like to talk about it, but I guess it helps. So thank you. I hope you guys have a good rest of the year. I have big astrology stuff coming up in January. Pluto-Saturn conjunction. Lots of stuff with government and kind of the secret vault of Pluto being opened. The last time we saw this, it was in the house regarding to religion, and that's when we saw a lot of the scandals and things with the churches. So anyway, who knows what's going to happen with the government? What will we learn? What will we find out? I'm sure they've got an amazing vault of secrets. So who knows? All right, you guys take care, and I will see you soon. All right, bye.